Hello chaps! Time to break out the suit because it's time to be a Kingsman. Kingsman, the Secret Service. So Kingsman, the Secret Service is a new comic book adaptation written and directed by Matthew Vaughn. Right there. That name right there should get you excited alone. And so Kingsman follows Eggsy, who is played by Taron Egerton, who has had a life of crime until one day he's been released from prison after calling the Kingsman tailor, and it turns out that the Kingsman is pretty much like the 007 agency. I have been looking forward to this movie. It was in my top 10 most anticipated movies of this year. Happy to report, guys, Kingsman is fucking awesome. Matthew Vaughn has yet to make a bad movie. Taron Egerton, who played Eggsy, was amazing. He pretty much played like the young adult version of Bond. I hope to see this kid in more stuff, and from what I've heard, apparently, from what I've heard, he's being eyed to play the young Cyclops and X-Men Apocalypse. If so, make it happen because this kid, so good. Colin Firth, who enlists Eggsy, and the Kingsman, Colin Firth kicked so much ass in this movie. He was pretty much like, almost like the Q of this movie, if Q kicked ass. There's a certain fight scene that takes place in a church. You're in for a treat, my friends. Also, Mark Strong was awesome as the guy who would coordinate the Kingsman missions. Also, Michael Caine's in this movie is awesome. The one thing I have to talk about, guys, is Samuel Jackson as the villain. He is possibly the funniest James Bond villain we will never have. Love Samuel Jackson in this movie. It's Samuel Jackson and a villain in a spy movie done by Matthew Vaughn. Right there should make you excited. What I loved about Kingsman so much is that this is pretty much a movie that channels the old classic Bond films, but not only that, it includes Matthew Vaughn's touch of, you know, a profanity, stylistic violence, and it also has Mark Miller, who wrote the comic book, his self-awareness of different genres. The action scenes in this movie, I swear to God, the cinematographer, Bill Pope, must have used a pseudonym. The guys don't know who Bill Pope is. I'll list a few examples. The Matrix, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and The World's End. Enough said. The cinematography reminded me so much of Bill Pope. It shows in the fight scenes, particularly in the church fight scene. The fights in this movie are so exhilarating. I was pretty much like this during the fight scenes. Oh shit! Oh my god, watching Colin Firth fight in the action scenes was such pure delight. And also, this movie is freaking hysterical. It's funny as hell. I cannot describe how much I loved Kingsman, in case you didn't guess already. The score was great, the final fights were great. There was not a single part that fell out of place. The pace was fast, the editing was excellent. Everything about this movie was absolutely, as Lucas would say, absolutely fantastic. Honestly, Kingsman, the best way I can describe it, it is probably the best Bond film we will never get. Alright, I'm gonna say this right now to MGM, the guys who handle the Bond films. When you're looking for your next director, please get Matthew Vaughn. I haven't seen a good spy film like this since Skyfall. Overall, Kingsman Secret Service, I absolutely loved it so much. It was exhilarating, action-packed, hilarious, fun. So guys, if you did guess already, I'm giving Kingsman my very first 5 out of 5 stars too. It is one of my favorite films there already, guys. I'm just gonna say this to you guys right now. Please, guys, for the love of God, see this instead of 50 Shades of Grey. This movie deserves your money. I'm gonna say this right now. I know all females don't like 50 Shades, but please, to all the women out there, even to those who don't like 50 Shades of Grey, please take your boyfriends or a friend that's a guy to go see Kingsman Secret Service. They will thank you in the long run. Believe me. Alright, so guys, comment and let me know below, what is your favorite spy film? And I will see you guys next time.